Nice to have you with us on a Tuesday afternoon on this late day in May, the 29th day, and nice to have you with us. Eddie and the crew as we chat. 888 Mad Dog 6, your two-way sports talk telephone number. As we move it along here on this busy day, wherever you may be, good to have you aboard, and we move it along here on Mad Dog Unleashed on the great Sirius XM 82. Obviously, plenty to do today as we have lots of sports to discuss, and we will do that. Hockey included. We'll get into a couple little things in baseball. I'll break down for Huck the golf, my golf, and then we'll have some laughs here with Colin Schmeling and the fellas as we chat. All right, let's do, I'll group this in two different ways. I'm going to look at the losing scenario first, okay? The teams. You cannot get on either one of the two teams who lost. And I am going to include Harden with that. I think Tim Legler's completely wrong. I guess he went nuts today with Steven, and I liked him, but he's totally wrong. You cannot go out there and you cannot kill either one of those two franchises for losing a conference final, despite the fact they both had 3-2 leads with home court. The Celtics are young, and we'll get to the reasons why they lost in a minute. They're young. Obviously, two big players not there. You have to give them a little break. I thought they'd win Game 7. I don't want to bury Terry Rozier. I don't want to bury any of these guys. So from that standpoint, I am not going to go out there and I am not going to kill the Celtics. I'll give you the reasons why they lost in a minute. But as far as, wow, look at that. They scored 30 points in the second half. They couldn't make a shot. This guy, that guy. I'm going to lay low. And I'm not going to kill the Rockets either because I'd be a hypocrite if I did. Because I said before the series started that the Rockets' deal in this series for me was to make the Warriors sweat. That was what they had to do. Nobody thought they'd win. They were a huge underdog. And if they made the Warriors sweat and be tight and win a game in Oakland, all those things they did, I'm going to give them a little break. Plus, they didn't have Chris Paul in Game 6 and 7. So I can't kill a team that was down in this situation, a big player, and yet had the Warriors running for their lives in 2 games. I cannot kill a team from that standpoint, and I'm not going to kill Harden. I know Harden did not play well yesterday. He took 29 shots. He did not play well. Was he 11 for 29? I don't even know what he was. I am not going to kill Harden. He wasn't the only one. They missed 27 threes in a row. He's got his running mate who's not in the game back-to-back nights. I cannot kill him. The other team's a better team. I am not going to kill Harden. Now, I know it's the easy thing to do, and nobody's killed him more than me. You've heard me fight with Van Gundy about it, comparing him to Jerry West. I have gone crazy on him. I think he's a little overrated. I don't love the way he plays, but I have to be fair about this. The other team's a better team, and it's not like, I understand they had a 54-43 at the half lead, and I get it. And they had a 17-point lead in Game 6 in the second quarter. I get all that. And, they had a chance to really put the dagger down and get the job done and finish off Golden State, but they didn't. And he wasn't the only one who missed up and hoisted up a million jumpers that didn't go. So I am myself, I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass. And I can't sit there now and destroy, guys like Terry Rozier, who's a backup point guard, destroy Jaylen Brown, who's a 22-year-old kid who basically played 1 year at Cal, and, get all over a guy like Al Horford, who is a good player, not a great player. He's a good professional, not a great player. I can't sit there for 5 hours getting on these two guys. Tatum did what he had to do. So I am going to a large degree, myself, I'm going to give Boston and Houston a pass is strong because, let's face it, both had a home game and both had leads in the second half of that home game to get to the NBA Finals. So, it's not like they didn't have a chance, but I will understand what happened in both sequences. That's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing I wanted to say is regarding the template of the 2 games. Let's do the Cavaliers first. First off, I don't know how you felt about it. I am so sick, and I know I've been hard on him at times in the past. His legacy was secured in that Golden State series 2 years ago. He doesn't do anything else, and I said that a million times after he brought his team back from 3-1 down, him and Irving, and won a title. 2 years ago, the team that won 73 games. this game, and ABC and ESPN and the broadcast crew, including Breeny, who I love, on and on and on and on about this legacy of LeBron James. Oh my God, let it go. He did not overwhelm the game. He had his typical LeBron game. He averages 34.9 in elimination game sevens. He had 35 points in the game. They only scored 87 points. It's not like he had 50 and they scored 110. Now, he played very well, sloppy with turnovers, but overall he played very well. He did what I expected LeBron to do. Anybody think LeBron was going to stink? I did. I thought LeBron would play an excellent all-around game. And for the most part, that is what he did. But if you listen to everybody involved in this broadcast, this is one of the gargantuan feats of LeBron's career. What are you, crazy? They beat the Boston Celtics playing rookies in a conference final, for crying out loud. They beat the Toronto Raptors, who then fired their coach, who never played well against Cleveland. And Indiana traded Paul George. It's not going to, make you think of the 71 Lakers. I mean, my God almighty, you would have thought LeBron, to get to the NBA final, beat, Golden State, Houston, and the Pelicans back to back to back without home court. Let's take it easy. He's in the Eastern Conference for a reason. He understands that's the easiest path. Can we all calm down a little bit? You don't think that game had a little something to do with the fact the Celtics were 7 for 39 from 3 and shot 31% for the game? And Rozier basically vomited on himself and Jaylen Brown stunk? You don't think that had something to do with it? The fact the Celtics scored 30 points in the second half, meaningful points. They got a couple of baskets when the game was over. You don't think that had a little something to do with it? My gosh almighty, you would have thought that we saw the second coming. And I understand I've been hard on him. But that game, to me, did not add or did not secure or do anything as far as his legacy is concerned. His legacy was secured forever with that performance 2 years ago and the block shot in Game 7 against Golden State. After that occurred, there was nothing else to say about LeBron. He was going to be 1-2 historically, take your pick, Jordan or him. It was going to be 1-2. Nothing he was going to do after that was going to change that. Oh, let me change that. With one possible exception, he wins this next series, which he's not going to do. And, listen, you like to think that maybe somebody in the broadcast and somebody on the television after postgame can at least highlight the biggest basket of the game in the Boston game. The biggest basket of the game, LeBron didn't score. The biggest basket of the game was the green jumper with 5:41 to go in front of that Celtic bench was a 3, which gave them a 2-point lead down 71-70. After the Celtics were trailed in the fourth quarter timeout, got the Tatum dunk, and then the Tatum 3, and immediately took a 1-point lead, and Green came back and knocked down a 3. By far the biggest basket of the game. Not even close. Not even debatable. So the tapestry that ESPN, for access, they need it. The tapestry that they tried to create for the uninitiated on Sunday night was that, wow, could you believe that LeBron took these bunch of misfits and won the Eastern Conference? And what else can this guy do but add to his legacy? Hold on now. He beat a bunch of young players, rookies, and he beat a Celtic team that, that's not out there, two best players. And he won the game because Boston, I give you the exact shooting percentage if you'd like me to. Boston in that game, for the game, Boston in that game shot, for the game, shot 34, they were 29 for 85. They missed 5 free throws, and they were 7 for 39 from 3. 17%. That is why, and they scored 36 points in the second half, 6 of them when the game was over. They did absolutely nothing outside of Tatum, who was phenomenal, and Horford was 7 for 12. 5 for 18 for Jaylen Brown. One of those he made late. 2 for 14 for Rozier. 5 for 14 for Marcus Morris. And 1 for 10 for Smart. That is why that the Cavaliers won a game. Not because LeBron, and he had a great game. 12 of 24, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, and 8 turnovers. LeBron did what LeBron does. My goodness gracious, you would have thought that I couldn't believe the account. And then the other thing I want to mention is this. Can we calm down on Draymond Green? And now he's a guy that I have picked on, okay? You would have thought, and I like Reggie, you would have, and Marv, who I love, you would have thought that Draymond Green was Elgin Baylor as far as the coverage was concerned yesterday. The glue to the team at the end of the game. The glue to the team, what a performance. He scored 10 points, had 13 rebounds, and his 5 assists were negated by 5 turnovers. He did not put the ball in the basket in the fourth quarter or third quarter. Durant and Curry did. You would have thought Green was terrible in the game. I mean, P.J. Tucker had 14 rebounds. They destroyed him on the offensive glass. They missed jump shots, not because Green played great defense. They missed jump shots. Green committed an asinine foul in the last 2 minutes, which stopped the clock and gave the Rockets 2 free throws. And you would have thought that Green was mind-bogglingly good. Oh, calm down on Draymond Green, please. You are not an all-time great. Now, I know people disagree with this, but you are not an all-time. This is why I think about Rodman. You are not an all-time great in basketball if you cannot score. If you cannot put the ball in the basket in playoff games in the fourth quarter, I cannot consider you, in my eyes. Now, Hall of Famer is different than all-time great. They put everybody in the Hall of Fame. But I cannot consider you a Hall of Famer. And Draymond Green, yes, he shot 5 for 13 from the field and did not make a 3. He is an atrocious offensive player. Now, I like what he does. He's a good passer. He has energy. You know, he plays hard, good defensively. We all know that. But his defense is not the reason why they won. They won because the Rockets couldn't throw the ball in the ocean off a boat. They missed 27 straight shots, threes, and it wasn't like Green's hand was in their face every single time. So let's calm down on him, too. So both drove me crazy. And lastly, before you get your calls in, I'll tell you right now, we'll never get Adam Silver on, as we know, but the NBA will deny this. This is an absolute atrocious NBA final. Nobody wants to see Cleveland Golden State, not my buddies. Nobody wants to see Cleveland Golden State for a 4th time. Nobody thinks that Cleveland could win this series going in. It has no sex appeal. Cleveland lost last year in 5, and now they don't have Kyrie Irving. So if they lost last year in 5, how the hell are they going to win this year? All right, Golden State may not be quite as good, a little off sync. I'll buy that, but there's no Kyrie Irving. How is this Motley Crue going to win this series? So I think going in, you are, you know what Cleveland is in Vegas? The start, plus 650. You know what that's like? That's almost like taking a 16 seed to beat a 1 in the NCAA tournament. Not quite. Almost. Think about that for a minute. They're a 16 seed going against a 1. This NBA final, now, listen, if Cleveland pulls off a miracle and gets one of these first 2 games, specifically game 1, we'll keep our mouth shut. This is going to be an absolute snorefest for the NBA. They never admit it. They can't. But Adam Silver did not want a Cleveland Golden State final again. 17 after the hour, we continue. Mad Dog Unleashed.